Probably should have done a smaller boost as we're heading into this, but that's fine. Hey, Dre, how's it going? Annoying place for the game to pause. Just focused on my shame of all the boosts I have from trying for Nico. Come on, go through. Thank you. Thanks, Edgar. All right. Thanks, Pablo Ross. I did get her, Dre, on literally the 120th crystal. A black hole. Ouch. That was stupid. I saw it as it was coming. Okay. Bro. uh, he caught me on the dashback. It ain't over, but that was annoying. That sidestep does not work on him. You gotta stop trying it. That jerk. Alright. Not directly, Hanach. Damage over time is just generally a little bit risky against her because it means you're not controlling what's getting reflected. I think it's safe to say the leader works there, y'all. Hey, Camus. Ross, we're not doing that. I just, please don't try and start a fight. I know a bunch of people have been complaining about this quest. I think some of those complaints have validity. I think others have less validity, but, like, please, you know that it's contentious. Don't come in here and try and start a fight. Take care, Hanach, and good luck. Spider-Woman Does she have Ensnare? Is that what happened, Walrus? I'm trying to remember if she shipped with Ensnare, because if so, there's an ability accuracy component, and that can do it. Thanks, Shibby, and thank you for being a member. 3 years is awesome. Okay, what even is the next fight? I know. Alright, Dazzler. Alright, this is basically just be careful, right? Because we have to intercept her periodically. We want to be a little bit careful how much we crit. And she can root us if we're not careful. But it's mainly a skill ask. Chavez is probably best because I don't see people using her later for this quest, and so reversing the power gain on knockdown sounds like the way to go. I see some people used Chavez for Serpent later, but I have Spiral and Wiccan, so I probably don't need to do that. A lot of champs can solo it. I'm sorry, but like, please, let's not start that stuff. I've talked about this before, but like, blah 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 solos is really unhelpful to a content creator. There are a lot of solo options. Something like this, we're trying to pick the best one to set us up for future fights too. And it is not helpful to go blah 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 solos, because then if I don't solo, you've basically just been like, well, but clearly you can't. Like, it's not. I know a lot of content creators don't speak out directly against it, but I promise you, like, none of us appreciate it. Well, but that's the thing, Walrus. It's not a proper counter if you're turning off the node. The point of that node is to let them get rooted. Negative probably does work, but, like, that sounds awful, parrying a bunch. Like, getting his Petrify up does not sound fun. Allison. What? I know that just means I hit the button too early, but that's annoying. Whatever, we'll heal later. The hitboxes on some of those special one hits are just insane. Like, just insanely inconsistent, right? Like, some of them are really far, and then some of them aren't. Like, the fact that that one was a parry is just insane. I was so far away. Okay, we've healed enough. Next time we're going orange for the actual payout. A little better. Woo! That was dangerous. Very stupid. Whew. Thanks, Alex. Congrats on the pull. Happy Saturday, Joel. Nico is a great counter for Serpent. There is that. Yeah, I have both Nico and Jean. Jean from the Titan and Nico from reinvesting some of my recent paycheck. Ah, I'm sorry to hear that, God of War. I've opened more, so I'm not that far, or I'm not like that far on the hole, but I did open, I think four, maybe five, but let's say four Tech Awakening gems, and three of them were in a row, so I feel at least a little bit of your pain. I'm sorry, dude. That's brutal. think this content's much harder than Epic. I think it depends. Specifically the much part. There are some tough ones in here for sure. Okay, planning ahead, I'm seeing some Nova and some Medusa for Death Strike. Some people used Medusa later for Thor, but I'm seeing Hyperion. And I've got Hyperion as well. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, that's a Quest 2 one. So I'm seeing exclusively Nova. Which is not super helpful, y'all. Nah, Vox is for later. I do have a rank 2 Nova, I guess. So we might as well do that. Yeah, that works. Corvus. Who do you think I am, Jency? Yeah, planning on Vox for Arcade. Afternoon, John. Interesting, Jaeger. The Unstoppable wasn't an issue for you? I don't mind using Nova. Bro's playing on the beta. Not quite, but my account's doing okay. Ah, fancy footwork. Okay. Yeah, I did use leader for gore. It worked quite well. I got hit a couple times by being stupid. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think some of y'all misunderstood. It probably wasn't clear enough. When I asked about like the Unstoppable, I was responding to Jaeger saying that he used Penny, who does not have armor breaks. Good old Nova. Jeez, we probably need to go to Special 3, I guess. Ouch! How did you hit me with that, ma'am? Ugh, missed the fancy footwork. Dang it. Let me out of the corner, you devil! Alright. Come on. Thank you. Whew. Yes, she has a sidestep. It's not very helpful for her specials. I repeat, let me out of the corner. Ma'am! I know that's me not being precise enough. Yes, very good. How's it going? Why Special 3 only? Because I tried Special 1, Special 2, wasn't doing quite enough damage to be worth it off of the crits, and then I got locked in the corner. And so the space control of the Special 3 giving me the whole dang screen is very worth it, in my opinion. It might take longer, but I think I am more likely to stay alive. Good question, though. Ma'am! I really hate that the intercept burns all of his Furies. Like, was that necessary on offense? Not even a little bit. Dang it, that was my fault. Forgetting about the... It's like, yay, you have intercept protection. Too bad your entire ramp dies if you use it once. Yes, I do think that the attack bonus applies to the special 3, which is why I'm trying to land it that way, but she's not always playing nice, so we can take what we get. I don't agree with you, Aiden, simply because that's not the only thing that needs to change. It's funny because, like, I know that the community is not a monolith, so just roll with me here. But, like, sometimes my reaction to, I need to pay attention more to my fight. But sometimes my reaction to player ideas for changes is like, Jesus Christ, that's way too much. But then sometimes my reaction is more like this one, and it's like, y'all need to dream bigger. The kit can work better than that. We don't need to go with just one change. Nova has a lot going on, but there are... The thing about Nova is that he's tuned well enough that it's easy to like overlook some of the design problems. And I say this without shade, by the way. I have had these discussions with Nova's designer, who I respect quite a bit. There are just some core problems that need solving. Fine. No, but you see there's a difference there with the phrasing, right? And I realize this being a little bit pedantic. But, like, if you're trying to be realistic, then you can say, I think I would be happy with this, right? But that's not the same thing, right? What I was objecting to Aiden saying, and Aiden can take this, he knows this isn't personal, but what I was objecting to Aiden saying was specifically all he needs is. And that's a different statement, and I don't think that one is accurate. I was hoping I'd get through the medium animation there and still gain power. Dang it. No, that's gonna be the kiss of death there. I saw it coming, but it was 100% my fault. No! Spoken like a balance designer. Nah, I don't agree with you, nah, but hi. I think Nova needs more. Design-wise, Nova needs more. Why no special too? Because I play poorly when cornered. Back off, y'all. Let me use the special 3. I need the space. What the heck is the 16 a response to? And because the special 2 does bupkis. See, I tried it again. Again, spoken like a balance designer. You're not hearing me, friend. I'm not talking about tuning. Finally got some crits on that one. No! I hit the button as it went away. Pain. I'm not looking forward to this one. Literally forgot what order those things are in. That's fine. We wanted that. Ouch. Come here. Ma'am. Oh, now she lets me intercept him. What is with this slowdown? Y'all are seeing this, right? This is insane. His heavy is in like 10 FPS. Oh hey, look, a special one dex. That was nice. That was just terrible. I tried to dex and nothing happened. Alright, come here. Come here. What was that heavy? You were nowhere close. No, it is not the stream sim. I wish it was the stream. Maybe pushing her to the special 2 is a bad idea, huh, chat? Because I forgot what Daunted does until literally the end, nah. I have no defense against that one. Man, that would be really embarrassing if I had built a champion around Daunted. Huh? Jesus Christ. Let's try another excuse. The lag was getting to me. I don't know what the heck that was. Okay, I'm seeing people use null. That seems like that's probably what makes the most sense here. I built Gene Carnage. I'm so embarrassed. Alright. Null sounds like the way to go. Like, I'm sure this fight is technically possible with Adam, but, like, I have no need to be fancy. Y'all prefer Chi to Null. Okay. Okay. That's enough people. Adam cooked Thor for me. Yeah, I'm sure it's very possible. I am not feeling that lucky right now. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, the damage of the special 3 is not the problem, Dilly. Whew. Okay, we didn't die. We did then lose an intercept we shouldn't have lost, though. That's super fun. Didn't know there were any of those left. That was my fault. We're backing off. Oh, that's right. It's his combo, not mine. Shoot. Okay, I misunderstood. Throw it again. Come on, buddy. He's just gonna wait, isn't he? That was stupid. Whoop! I almost saved it, and then I threw it away. Oh, that's funny. No, that's okay. That's completely fine. User error in spades. Okay. Exactly, Carnage. Honestly, I thought about not streaming at all today, and that was before I saw this lag. But just, I woke up kind of early today to get downtown for, God, the lag is horrific with the protests, and so I am exhausted even before that. This lag is ridiculous. I gotta send that one in. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to restart. Give me a second. You know what? Normally when it's that bad, I think I just need to restart the whole dang iPad. Give me a couple. Oh, I'm not touching that black hole. Hey, work, how's it going? Been a while. That reminds me, I think I have another West Coast Ghost in the Machine downstairs. Put it in the fridge for later. Ghost in the Machine is a particularly good double IPA from very near where work lives. And then West Coast Ghost is the West Coast IPA variation on it. I like it. Ah, sorry to hear that work. It's rough. What? Okay. Well, it's not like there's anything untoward on my home screen, but that was a surprise. Okay, let's see how this goes. Nope, that's not what I thought I did. All right. Node 3. Is that the regen one? I think I've seen the best results from Sentinel. If you're really good at repairing, I think Leader might be the best. But that one's a little risky. Oof. Yeah, that sounds brutal work. Yeah, Void would also be Reparry City, as would Warlock. Could see either. Warlock sounds the worst to me, though. Like, yes, Warlock will control the healing well, but Zola is bleed immune and also turns off special damage. And if you can't get big special twos and you can't land bleeds off of the heavy, Warlock's damage is not amazing. You're basically, I would say you're basically begging for crits, except Zola also has extra armor and nerfs crit pen. Like, it's not that you have no tools, right? Because Warlock has armor break, which will get around the armor, and so then the crit pen matters less. But, like, yeah, that sounds really, really rough to me. Where's the naughty stuff on your home screen? Sorry to disappoint you, Dilly. Thanks, Jay. Okay. Okay. This guy. Woo! That was close. I probably could have pushed to special 2 there and then just killed, but whatever. Oh, I missed the call out, Sim. That is a good one. Oof. Uh, no. You're a bit off there, John. Like for one thing, for those following along, he only turns off willpower if he's defending, right? Um, but no, it's specifically the healing granted by regeneration effects and willpower, which is not technically a regeneration effect. That's all it's telling you. It has nothing to do with the other pieces of willpower. Okay, side. Okay. Leader. I'm seeing Bullseye, Black, or that's the other one. So Black Cat, Black Cat, Black Cat, Black Cat. Did anybody use anybody other than Black Cat? Okay, makes sense. It's funny. My mantis is bigger than my black cat. It's pretty tempting. I don't use mantis enough. I think I'm going to do that because I probably won't use her anywhere else. Use her. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. Nico's my most recent. As for the next one, they're in November, but no other details yet. Hey, Aiden, how's it going? Also, I'm gonna peacock for a minute and claim some credit. If you liked or if you felt like Close Encounters was more responsive here than it has been in the past, you're welcome. Because I have hated that node with every fiber of my being for so long that I was like, Kevin, if you're going to use Close Encounters, please let me rebuild it. And he did. So here we are. That's cool, Yaker. Ow. Holy! Oh, wow. If I had realized that that was gonna hurt that bad, I think I probably would have been a little stricter about blocking it. Yeah, definitely a reflex dex. Jesus. Okay then. Take two. Yeah, yellow numbers are definitely bigger these days, work. Jesus, you jerk. Oops. Alright, this one's gonna suck. Or no, wait, this is the sinister one, right? So this is fine-ish. Never mind, this is totally fine. Y'all don't understand how bad these fights almost were. I was dreading this bullseye fight because I fought like 10 different versions of it. You're welcome that this is the one that shit. Yes, I have Bold Gene. Hi, Victor. That's fine. He's definitely not preventing purifies at all. I got what you're saying, Alberto. Yeah, I'm not used to cheesing that way. What was the worst version? I don't even remember. Oh, it did have Adam and Axiom. Okay, I missed that. Thank you. I missed it. Welcome, Player Unknown. A lot of people are in Anthem. But what you have to remember is that there are a lot of people playing this game, and there are over 300 characters in the game. People can't always talk about whoever you're focused on. Okay. Torch, I'm seeing mostly Spider Ham, and that's probably going to be my best option. Yeah, let's do that. What did he end up with again? Okay, so basically don't use heavies. But you need to for Dawn of Protection, so you then need to be careful. So he is going to have smolders. But hopefully not too many. I hate shed skin so much. Okay, 1 sec. Dara song. Checks out. That's fun. Okay, sure. Parries don't work. That's fine. Dang it. Alright, well that's fine. Just wait. My fault. No! Ugh, snap lights. Yeah, no. Welcome. Hey, Snoops. Nah, it's a good fight. I just got hit by snap. Or I got hit when I meant to block both then at the end and at the beginning. Like, we were very clearly on pace. Stupid way to burn a revive, but whatever. Yeah, well, that's kind of the other problem, isn't it, Anthem? That the community as a whole is not very good at looking at two characters in the same class that have any ability overlap and telling the difference between them, right? It's always one is eating the other's lunch, one is outclassing the other, one is way better than the other. It's a conversation completely devoid of nuance. They're both good. Hey, Mookie. It's been going fine. I've just, thrown a few revives into the dumpster fire by being a moron. But c'est la vie. Yeah, I don't think we're using Spiral, buddy. At this time. I got revives and overflow for now. I'm not worried, but I got 2 more quests after this. That is not how that works, player unknown. Not even a little bit. Girl. Thanks, Mookie. How deep do I have to go, Snoops? All the way. Ugh. I have a video of me opening crystal number 119 and 120. I have used her in war, yeah. I used her for an intercept serpent. That was a hard fight. Almost a gambling game? Dude, it's a gotcha game. Like, duh. As for your question about why do we charge so much for characters, little bit of a weird question right now, given that there's a pity timer running for the current featured Valiants, because that's a massive effective cost reduction. But the other answer is simply that building champions is expensive. Building the rest of the content in this game is expensive. And the game is free, right? There isn't a subscription. There isn't, what do you call it? There's no purchase price up front. Vast majority of the content in the game you can do with, like, no guardrails at all. If we can't charge for champions, what do we charge for? Yeah, you would rather pay for a subscription, Player Unknown. But the player base would shrink by, I don't know what factor, but a huge amount. Like, that's kind of the point, right? The game is expensive for people who go all in because it's also free for tens of thousands. And this was actually, like, when I first started at Kabam, I was feeling pretty conflicted about working on a freemium game because so many people talk about, oh, they're predatory, right? Like, it's not a real business model. They're just trying to scam people. But this game is in its 11th year now, right? And I think the reason it's in its 11th year is not just because the characters are interesting, but because it's had such a sustained player base, right? The social components of it, alliances and alliance war, are such a big part of it. So many people are playing Battlegrounds. None of that stays possible if we lose, I'm just going to estimate here, 90% of the player base by switching to a subscription model. The game might keep going. It might even make as much money, but it wouldn't be the same, and I think that would be a real loss. It's also not really 1200. That's if you do like the worst possible conversion. Significantly more effective if you go through the web store and or have any units saved up, like etc., right? Yeah, and that's fine. That's your choice, player. But seriously, we do have to make money from something, right? And a pretty consistent pattern I've observed from the player base is that everyone seems to want us to monetize in a way that doesn't affect them, right? People who are willing to pay a subscription would rather us switch to subscriptions, but not monetize champions. Awfully convenient for them, right? People who don't want to spend it all would rather us just monetize cosmetics. And of course, I'm not going to pay for cosmetics. I'm not a whale, but somebody will. And then I can have all of the stuff that I want for free, right? Like I'm rambling a little bit, but just keep in mind anytime we charge less for something, we have to like make that money up somewhere else. And that's not just oh, well then charge elsewhere. It has to like actually make money somewhere else. Somebody has to buy it. An intelligent, reasoning human has to decide that's a good use of money. I'm not at all surprised to see Sohybe say that. Ads are a very contentious topic in free-to-play games. Personally, I do suspect that there would be a way to do it that wouldn't be a problem, but how many players would we lose without ever figuring that out? If they were like, oh, they're adding ads to the game? I'm out. They just wouldn't care about anything else. It's a dangerous trigger to pull. Would Red Skull be good against the Lady Deathstrike in Q1? I don't think so. Not really seeing a way that works out great. Got Elaine out of the Nexus. I don't know how you feel. I think you feel like you just got one of the best defenders currently in the game, Jordan. Congrats on the pull. Yeah, I'm not going to spend any more time on the ads conversation because yeah. That's a tough one. Just play, dude. You started this. Oh. Oh. Oh, the lecture you heard. That was my fault. Yeah, the projectile speed is silly. Okay, we are no longer winning the HP race. Oh my god, that light is... What are you doing? What the hell? Oh, ma'am. Would have been a nice time for a crit. Yeah, the sword projectile speed is so stupid. Unfortunately, that's not really the kind of thing that... I don't think we really had the ability to make the speed different on offense and defense. But it needed to be slow on offense to prevent her chains from being much worse. And it needed to not be too much faster on defense because there was this weirdness for a while where she would like fire the blades and then she would run in past them because oh my god, I forget no, that was when they were too slow. There was another iteration where they were even slower. This is the medium speed. Yeah, I think it was just the balance between offense and defense because we had to pick one speed for both of them. It was rough. I did not see your previous Nico question. 1 second, John. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. You might need to repeat it. Yeah, I'm not seeing the actual question. Something like that, off man. Jesus. I've never seen Spiral do that many perfect things in a row. Brings back very old strange special one trauma. Yeah, those labyrinth runs. Is there a note on there that makes her fire the swords? I think so. I forget what it was, but I'm pretty sure there was one. Okay. In my spotlight with context, I referenced the reasoning behind reducing the potency on Nico's incinerates, specifically because it opened up too many fights. Can I ask you to elaborate? So basically, this is a very complicated discussion because I can already feel the collective whataboutisms from the chat. Let me remind everybody before I start that individual designers can disagree with each other, but I personally am pretty hesitant to provide damage replacements, right? Even when it looks like they are a downgrade, they are inherently flexibility, and providing a damage swap of any kind increases the number of fights somebody can reasonably take. I think that doing it in a synergy is sometimes okay. I think the Penny Parker Infamous Iron Man one is pretty fair. I think if the entire character is built around the swap and balanced that way, then it can be okay. But it's also dangerous, and if the balancing is at all off, then bad things can happen. And for that, I'm going to point to Scorpion. I do think Scorpion probably would have been balanced down if things had been active for his review. I definitely think that Scorpion was not intended to be as strong as he is just going medium special 2, right? And so how many matchups he can take by having access to 3 dots, I do think is a problem, right? That's kind of like the anti-vision, the fail case. That's what we didn't want for Nico, right? Because we didn't want Nico to be good in her target matchups, but then also to feel like she could just take anything through that flexibility of, well, what's one thing that blocks her out? Poison immunity. Okay, but now somebody has to be immune to both poison and incinerate to stop her in battlegrounds. And so that's kind of where we came from, is that like she's still very strong, right? Because a lot of her damage is the burst on the special 1, and the reduction on the incinerates doesn't care about, or doesn't affect that. But we decided that there needed to be some kind of penalty to that extra flexibility because she was overall strong enough and she was using strong enough tools that it was important, right? There could easily be another character that has a damage swap like that that doesn't need that penalty because the rest of the kit doesn't demand it, right? If the rest of the kit isn't a brand new RPG ecosystem like Adrenaline and buff immunity coming back for the second time ever, then maybe you don't need that hit. But Nico did. Anyone fully immune to Scorpion, as in Rupture, Shock, and Poison? No, I don't believe so. No, I don't think that was it, Pablo. I think that the pre-fights on Scorpion were mostly there like because it was cool. And then I think that basically he was accidentally a little overtuned. Because I think Scorpion was built around the like get over here gameplay, right? The heavy charge into special. And I think that that's before the AI got borked and started running away during heavy charges. I felt like that was actually pretty well balanced. Scorpion's problem is that I think he's too good when you don't have those torments, right? And so I think that that problem, Scorpion being like dealing too much damage when you're not doing the gameplay he was designed for, combined with having access to 3 different kinds of damage, 1 physical, 1 energy, and 1 direct, is just too much. Congrats, ability. That's awesome. Was that intentional, Snoops? Yes, it was. Whoops. Excuse me. I just fully kicked my subwoofer. All right. Yeah, my Iron Heart isn't very big, but I don't think we have a better answer here. Ugh, Be Like Water is so nasty. What did I just say, Pika? I guess it wasn't just. It was like 5 minutes ago. But I... Go away, dude. You know what you're doing. Um... Okay. When I started this conversation, Pika, I said I can already feel the whataboutism coming in the chat. And you did exactly that. But my point here is that not every kit is the same, right? You can't you can't compare two abilities and go, well, but you said that was a problem here and it's not a problem here. Again, different designers can disagree, different designers can make mistakes, but the larger thing is that different characters are like some of different abilities, right? And so that brings different context. Something can be okay in one spot and not in another, and that doesn't mean that we're contradictory or stupid. It just means that there was more context. Nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, John. It was a good question. All right, sticking to incinerate. Oh, a reboost. Thanks, man. Gotcha. That's right. 50 is her max, isn't it? Oof. No, Ironheart does not really have a downside, but that is one of the reasons that A, she only has two, and both of them are subject to resistance, right, Snoops? She doesn't have a direct one. Um, but that was still something that was brought up as a very important balance consideration very early in her process, right? That was something that we said where it's like, this is a big piece of flexibility. You're gonna have to answer for that, right? And I think Ironheart ended up being like doing solid damage, very solid damage, especially in longer fights, and having incredible utility. But you know, there are people who wish she hit harder in battlegrounds. She might have had room to hit harder in battlegrounds if she couldn't swap her damage type. But that's the kind of choice you make. All right, this is gonna be Jean, but the 51st came from me going to Special 3 Snoops. I went to Special 3 early. That gives you the passive armor as well as the permanent debuff. If designers all adopted the same velocity, people would be complaining about how stale the meta is so quickly. I mean, we have a lot of the same philosophies, but that doesn't mean that we're going to agree on how to apply it. I get your general point, though, yeah. Resonate sounds awful for that fight. Oh. Um, I mean, it's generally every month, right, Jordan? I don't think I can be more precise than that. No relic on Jean? Yeah. Oh, well. She's new. Took her to rank 2 this morning. I am so tired of snap lights. Yeah, it was my fault. That's fine. Shouldn't have pushed him there. This one's not gonna be quick. That was dumb. I stopped paying attention to that counter. Oh, crud. Whew! Whoops. He loves that fake out. Hey, Mike. Appreciate it. That's about as good as our ramp is gonna get, and that was, what, like 4%? It's almost like Gene was intentionally designed to be vulnerable to tempo disruption, and this fight has a bunch of tempo disruption. Almost. I should have just gone for a medium light there. That's alright. I'm liking the special 3 here. It's a certain amount of, like, guaranteed damage. It gives us time to ramp the psionic charges. And we are keeping that force field healthy in case something goes wrong again. Oh, yeah, Deadpool X. Oh, you're comparing Deadpool X to Domino. That I can make more sense of, yeah. I was like, Deadpool X is definitely faster here. That doesn't fit my definition of better. Yeah, come here. Alright, come here. Come here. Thank you. He did not want to play ball there. Alright, no more protection. No, not really images. He doesn't have a bias. Just works nicely with his animations. There you go. Yeah, I realized that's actually what I should have been doing with the special 3 was go directly to the special 2, and I should have been a little bit more careful about my corrosion or about my force field. I read the word corrosion. The faster way to do this fight, regardless of what level your gene is special 3, special 2, the whole way up. Just get that force field higher and higher and higher, because that's going to be the best way to get the most neuros. Whew. All right, let me catch up on chat because that took a while. I thought I set Jean's stat focus. That one is a mistake. The relic, whatever. I just got her. I thought I set her stat focus. All right, neither. That's fine. Thanks, ability. No, I really did not. That's funny. Doesn't really matter. We're only here for the energy resist. Oof. Have I ever designed a boss like Glycon or Superior Kang? I have not. I want to. It hasn't lined up yet. I keep getting excited about other characters. Thanks again for being a member, Mike. I know I said hi, but I appreciate it. I'm not doing the X23 buff. I feel pretty comfortable saying that because my coworker has already said on Twitter that she is. Yeah, I see Black Hole's message below that. I have not been able to draft yet, Kurd. I did do a single sealed pool for the new Final Fantasy set, and I got. I won't say the worst pool, could have been worse, but I got a really weak pool. Like, two of my rares were that white card that fetches a vehicle, and I only had one vehicle. It was rough. But I am very much looking forward to drafting it. It sounds cool. Yeah, the thing about like Quest 2 versus Quest 3, I've chatted about this in a couple other places, so I'll say it here. Basically, we had to make some judgment calls there because if we had if we had just focused on the absolute best counters being in Quest 1, the second best counters being in Quest 2, the third best counters being in Quest 3, then we wouldn't necessarily have been taking into account how many options were in each tag, which was something that was important to us, and we wouldn't necessarily have been putting weight onto how available those characters were, right? Like, there are places where, like, I'm going to give a complete hypothetical, but let's say Omega Sentinel is the single best option for something. Not super available as a 7-star, right? Or the Bullseye is one that came up a lot, right? Like, clearly Quest 1 is the easiest because if you have Sinister, then that's great. If you don't have Sinister, then Quest 1 can be rough, right? And not everyone does. Quest 2 has a few different options that a bunch of people are going to have, right? If you have the options in Quest 3 for that Bullseye, they're probably better, but a lot of people don't have them at all because it's a newer tag. And so, like, we had to make those kinds of choices. And we knew that some people were going to feel that Quest 3 was easier, and that was just kind of something we had to accept, you know? Lady Deathstrike, I got through almost an entire episode of Jeopardy. That's fantastic. Yeah, Domino and Deadpool X Force both make sense. I've heard a lot of people saying Deadpool X Force. Skipping over some stuff I'm not going to read. Okay. Ooh, Domino failing the reverse controls at the worst time sounds terrible, Black Hole. That's a really good shout. Oof. Yeah, Moondragon sounds cool. Like, she's another tempo dependent champion, right? And so, like, she'd be slow. But I think I might end up using Moondragon just because it dodges the reverse controls problem, but we'll see. I hope Jean does not evade you, John. I feel you, though. Still no Patriot for me. Thanks, all. No, I'm not doing all three today. 2 hours is generally about the limit of my stamina. And I did some dumb stuff even in this stream. It would get worse from here. Nah, I'm just not going to agree with that images. Like, I've seen some of that as well. And like doing more damage after a while built into the node makes sense in certain game modes and in certain kinds of quests, but that's just not really something Everest has ever really done. Part of the ask for these quests is not just execution and not just endurance, but both, right? Solid, consistent execution over a certain amount of time. That is part of the intended challenge. It is tedious sometimes, it is difficult, but like that's the point. And if you miss that, right? If you are like me in the Ragthor fight earlier this stream and you run right into the last hit of his special 2 and cost yourself the solo, that's the point, right? I wasn't consistent enough for long enough. The quest doesn't need to hold my hand by giving me a damage boost after a certain amount of time. I just need to play better. Her special 2 is, I think, energy, just because all of her stuff is energy and it's simpler to hold to that rule. Yes, she is throwing things, but that's okay. She's throwing them with her mind, so energy. Say lovey. Wait, did we make them physical? I thought all of her attacks were energy. Ability's making me doubt myself. No, we did. No, you're right. You're right. Special 2 is physical. Okay, we swapped it up. I forgot that we said that. Okay, that means that her info page is technically incorrect. I don't know when that happened. Oh well. I would take that trade if I could, John, which is why I can't. Thanks, OS. I don't have Sinister, so needless to say, I'm not pleased with that decision. Yeah, there is a certain amount of that EK. I mean, if all the rewards are in exploration, then it's still backloaded, right, Mookie? So I'm not sure that it's really all that big a deal. I've said this before, Oathmain. I think that there are going to be a lot of people who are disappointed with Patriot's buff because he's already better than they realize. And there is not enough room for us to give him as much as some people incorrectly think he needs. The buff's going to be good, but I think people are expecting too much. No, no, you were right, ability. That's totally my bad. I didn't realize that that went out the door that way. Happens sometimes. It's the reason the Phoenixes don't have energy attacks. I think the main thing is just that, like, that is still a power thing, right, Jaeger? It has meta implications. We don't just give every character that could have energy attacks all energy sets. I realize that might not be the most satisfying answer, but like, yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. Arthritis disagrees. I am sorry about that, but yeah, that is part of the point. I mean, this is kind of similar to the Ironheart conversation earlier, where it's like maybe Patriot's damage could come up a little bit, but there's enough powerful utility there that still not that much room. And Patriot hits harder than I've seen a lot of people getting out of him. But we'll see. Anyway, stream is winding down, but this was a good one. Thank you everybody for hanging out and for chatting. I enjoyed this. I mostly revived because of my own stupidity, which I'll take. And still, it was what, like 4, 5? I wasn't counting. I don't count, but it wasn't that bad. So we'll see how Quest 2 goes. Maybe tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm a little bit fresher. But thank you everybody, and I'll see you soon. Take care.